Hi everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Natalie. I am a Western tropical astrologer and I use a whole sign house system for all my reading and forecasts. In this video, we are talking about this week's astrology forecast. I am a tad late. I usually try to post them on Sundays Pacific times. But wow, Mercury retrograde is really retro shading on me. So I'll share in a little bit. But yeah, so we'll be talking about November 10 to 16 of 2025. And I hope that if you enjoy what I do and share on this channel, you can consider subscribe and share with your friends. The best way to support me, to help this channel to grow, is subscribing, liking, sharing, and just commenting. I love connecting with you all. Comment below, let me know how you find this video. Come back the next week after this week passed. Come back and listen to it and see how all these energy plays out for you. Astrology is best used when you first know what is coming up. So it's like a weather forecast. So I'll let you know what's the energy that's coming up that we might experience, that you might experience individually, collectively. You can then apply it to your own life and see how they show up for you. Ooh, that really show up in a big way. Oh, that I don't really feel that, but maybe my friend reflect that energy on me, or I saw it how it play out on the collective level in others people's life, and how that might or might not affect me. Come back a week later, listen to it again. That's when you reflect and have those little aha moments, those reflection. And I would always love for you to share with me. Comment below, let me know how they played out for you, how you felt them, how you navigate through them. And remember, I am walking alongside with you every step of the way. So yeah, don't be shy. Like, I love talking about astrology all the time. So feel free to comment below. So yes, I am a day late. It's now Monday morning. So blessed to have some sun. Hopefully the sun is still out when I'm done so I can go out and have a little coffee break with the sun later. But yeah, Mercury retrograde officially started yesterday on Sunday. So actually that is incorrect. The official Mercury retrograde journey begins in the phase 1, which I call pre-shadow phase, right? That is the phase 1. That is when Mercury begins to slow down to prepare for its retrograde journey. It will still travel forward those degree points where it will go back later on. That is the first phase of Mercury retrograde, the pre-shadow, that a lot of people sometimes don't talk about it, and also the post shadow, right? And so that was October 21st. So October 21st is the phase 1 pre-shadow, and yesterday, November 9, Mercury officially stationed retrograde. That is the phase 2. We're now in the phase 2, the midst of Mercury retrograde, where Mercury travels back to the degree point that it was traveling since October 21st. So now Mercury will travel back from 6 degree, 51 minutes in Sagittarius, all the way back to 20 degrees, 42 minutes in Scorpio. And then end of November, literally last day, depending where you are, 29th or 30th, that is when Mercury station direct. But that is the phase 3, post shadow of the Mercury retrograde. So now Mercury will travel again forward, slowly starting to picking up its regular speed, but it will travel and trace back the degree point where it just retrograded. So there's this more forward, slowing down, stopping, and going back, phase 2 retrograde, and now phase 3 post shadow, going forward again, picking up all those degree points. The post shadow phase of Mercury retrograde will officially ends on December 16, when Mercury pass through that 6 degree points from Sagittarius, where it begins its Mercury retrograde journey. But also, often a lot of astrologers and a lot of people and clients also refers to the whole sign transitions, right? So sometimes the Mercury retrograde journey doesn't really finish until Mercury leave that sign, right? So this time Mercury retrograde is happening between two signs, Scorpio and Sagittarius. So there's this back and forth between your two houses that is ruled by Scorpio and Sagittarius. So for some people, the energy comes in already earlier in October when Mercury just entered Scorpio, and that energy won't leave until later in December when Mercury leaves Sagittarius and enters Capricorn. So that can play out differently because, like I said, not every single person will feel Mercury retrograde the same way, right? Because Scorpio and Sag is in different house in our own natal chart. We all have different rising signs, so Scorpio and Sagittarius will be in different houses. They will be about different topics and themes, and that's why we might experience it differently. Do you have any planets or point in Scorpio or Sagittarius, or planets or point that in other house that aspect this Mercury retrograde, right? If you do, you might feel it stronger. Are you one of those signs, a rising sign? You might feel it more, right? And also, so there's a lot of different elements that goes into Mercury retrograde, but of course the common theme of Mercury retrograde is technology, transportation, right? Communication going way haywire, right? Machine might break down, your phone might go dead, email might not work, you might send the wrong text, or you receive some alarming information that somebody sent wrong, right? Miscommunication and understanding, right? Crazy news that might pop out. People might misspoke or say something that they regret, you or other people in your life. Travel might delay, space out your schedule. There might be unexpected delays and accident, God forbid, that might happen. And that do happen because Mercury rules commerce, communication, and travels, right? So especially in Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter also talks about travel, and guess what? Jupiter is about to station retrograde this week as well. So last week when it's slowing down, stationing, we already feel it, and then slam down with that Mercury retrograde. We did see how the US government, because of a shutdown, they are canceling, I think it was initially 1,000 flights, and now I think it's up to 2,500 flights. There might be more. I'm not up to date as of today, so there might be more, and that is creating a big chaos in traveling, in flights, all the mercurial stuff, all the stuff related to Sagittarius, right? We see devastating weather, right? That is also because of Uranus going back into Taurus, retrograding. So we see all these elements coming together. And yes, I also got a delay. I'm a Sag rising. I am definitely feeling this Mercury retrograde a little bit more than other. I'm also a Scorpio sun, so it is in my main energy field. So I am feeling them deeply. So what happened was, the day before, I didn't know, but when I went to take a shower, there's only cold water, and I'm like, I live in Vancouver right now. The weather is getting cooler. It's like 5-6 degrees out there. I'm like, I was hoping for a hot shower before sleep, and it was cold. I was like, oh my god, but I have to shower. So I had a cold plunge, basically a shower, and I call thank God we have 24 hours concierge. I call downstairs, but they are not able to do anything because it's like late at night. But they later found out after I called. I was the first one actually. After I called, tons of people calling, complaining about cold water. It was because the boiler in the building broke, so everybody did not have hot water. So that was a big thing. And the next day, we have this microwave and what is that called? Exhaust, the thing that take the air, I used to know. It's like slip off my mind right now. Mercury retrograde. See, you just cannot find the word that you're looking for, and there's like miscommunication. Anyway, so the thing that take the air oily air out, the exhaust or whatever it is, right? It's a combination, so they're attached together. If one break down, the other one break down. So it stopped working. So I was like, how am I gonna cook? Because, well, I can't use any fire because the smoke is gonna come up and then it's not gonna take the gas out, and then the smoke alarm is gonna go off and it's gonna go crazy. So I can only use the oven. And so I called the landlord, and then he was like, oh, let me get back to you. And then I'm waiting, and then like it took a couple of days, they have to come check it, and now they decided to replace a new one. And today, finally, we waited for about a week. So it was when Mercury was in the pre-shadow, right, slowing down. That was when this thing broke. And then now Mercury officially stationed retrograde. We are repairing, we are seeing the problem, we are finding solution, right? And someone is going to fix it today, later in the afternoon. So finger crossed, nothing will go wrong. It will go smoothly. Please, please, please. And thank you. So I can cook anyway. So that was my hope. That was my little Mercury retrograde speech. But doesn't mean it happened the same for everybody. Sometimes it was during pre-shadow gate that the chaos come up, right? And then during Mercury retrograde, it was when you go back, attend to the problem, try to solve it, try to find solution, reevaluating all the REs. And in the post shadow, that's when things will, okay, now I know the direction where I want to go. How are we going to solve it? We reach conclusion, solution, resolution, clarity, blah, 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 right? So that's one great example in real life for you. So please feel free to tell me, have you been feeling this energy? How has it been affecting you? So this week, we don't have like a lot happening up in the sky like last week. Last week, if you watched the video, it's like day by day, bam, bam, bam. This week, it's a lot less, but we do have a lot of retrograde energy happening, especially with Mercury retrograde. So please beware, space out your schedule, okay? But let's talk about this week. On 11/11, yes, 8:41 a.m. Pacific time, or 11/12, November 12, 12:41 a.m. Hong Kong time, Jupiter is going to station retrograde at 25 degrees 9 minutes in the sign of Cancer. So Jupiter, last planet to join the retrograde party. Every planet, well, except Mars and Venus. Yeah, except those two. Everybody's retrograding. So, but that's what happened for most of the planet. It's not something to be scared of or fear-mongering about, because planets do retrograde, and usually around, the later part of the year. So this is normal. It's not like something that happened like, oh my God, it happens every year. But it is also a great reminder for us, especially the ones that we live in Northern Hemisphere. This is a great reminder that we live with the cosmic energy. This is also when we experience the slowdown in weather, right? Things get cooler, things are dying. The leaves and flowers and stuff. This is the time where we unwind and stay indoor more. There's less sun, it's like we're preparing for the cold weather. We are less active. We should be, because we should follow the season and live with the energy, right? So take a look and see which house is ruled by Cancer, because Jupiter has been there since June 9th this year, right? So we have a good chunk, a good 5-6 months of Jupiter in your Cancer house, right? Trying to grow and expand, maybe for some bringing in some abundance, some help, some learning, some messages and guidance in that house. What are the topics and themes, areas of your life is Cancer house about, right? It's trying to grow. And often people forget one thing. When we talk about Jupiter in Cancer, we also need to talk about our moon sign, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So when Jupiter enters Cancer, it doesn't only affect your Cancer house, it's also affecting the house where your moon sign is. So where's your moon sign? I'm Aquarius moon, so Aquarius house is also communicating and being affected by that Jupiter in Cancer, right? That energy, they are talking to each other, trying to grow and expand, and I can truly really see how it's trying to expand and grow in my moon sign house more actually compared to my Cancer house. And it's been a very interesting journey for me. I was going to do a shorter video since there's less happening, but I end up talking so much about Mercury retrograde, and now a little bit about my Jupiter in Cancer / also my moon sign story. But sometimes I also feel like by sharing how I've experiencing this energy, how I'm moving through this energy with you all, sharing real life example, which is myself, it really helps others to connect more as well with the astrology. So even though it can be a bit vulnerable sharing what I'm moving through, because not all of them are sunshine and rainbow, and they shouldn't be, right? It also allowed me to create this space for all of us to share that we're not alone on this journey, that we are moving through this energy together. So as an Aquarius moon, and I'm a Sag rising, so it's in my 3rd house, which is about siblings, my immediate environment, my expression, my communication, my social media presence. It really shook up, like since around that time, June. Because if you know me, or if you have been following me over on the Instagram, or you watch my previous videos, you know where I stand politically, and you know my view. I'm not afraid to share my view because I think astrology, healing, I'm also a healer, like all these healing modalities, spiritual modalities, they are not here to help you bypass what is happening in the world and trying to disconnect you from the world matters and the politics. Actually, if you truly are practicing all these spiritual modalities, whatever you believe in, right, it actually help you understand how interconnected all these things are, and that we cannot bypass them. Because if you practice any kind of spiritual modalities or astrology or energy or esoteric things, right, almost all of them stems from some kind of indigenous beliefs and system and teachings and wisdom. They are passed from our ancestors, right? And in order to honor them and not bypassing them, we need to also decolonize ourselves, do our own shadow work to understand how the modern day society, the politics, and everything that the top 1% trying to do is doing everything opposite of that, and trying to demolish, trying to erase, ethnic cleanse all these indigenous and different, people around the world. And those places became the most vulnerable because they actually have the most resources, and they are being exploited by the billionaire, by the top 1%, right, to feed us unhealthy food and damaging technology, right? I know I'm sounding like a cow person right now, but something we need to understand is that everything is connected. If you allow yourself to be educated, to be more aware, right, to be more socially and politically aware of what is really happening, which a lot of us are more open to it now, right? We question the reason, we question the roots, we question why all these places are experiencing all these horrific atrocities, right, and sufferings. And the more we know, the more we cannot unseen, and the more we know how we are all interconnected. So that was what's moving through me, really allowing me to be more politically aware, self-aware, socially aware, but there's no end to learning and unlearning. And I encourage you all to really question that, because Jupiter talks about spiritual belief patterns and system. In Cancer, it talks about what we nurture, what we care about, which is, our lineage, our ancestors, our ancestry, our family, right? How do we care for each other, not just our own family, but to other? We all have a sacred responsibility for the world. We're here not just to take and receive from Mother Earth. We are also here to help continue to give back, to try to leave the world a similar status when we leave, right? We're not trying to just like take and exploit the resources to give us a good life and just not care about other people or Mother Earth, which is like unconditionally supporting us, everybody, with its resources. And there's so many things that is not being talked about, right? And Jupiter in Cancer is trying to remind us that we all need to care for each other. If you want love and light in this world, you need to also embrace the darkness, because it is through the darkness where we see the light, okay? So, sorry, went off a little tangent over there, but take a look and see. Which house is ruled by Cancer? What are the theme, topics, areas of life is Cancer about? Also your moon sign, where is it at? Which house is at? The sign, the theme, topic, area of your life. All these, Jupiter was trying to give you more as in perhaps abundance, perhaps teaching, lessons, growth, expansion. And sometimes they might not feel the most positive in the beginning. Jupiter actually sometimes help us to grow and expand by taking things away, by undoing some belief system and learning. And it can be hard and painful because it might cause you to lose, I don't know, a relationship, something in your life, right? You might experience failure or collapse. And you are like, what? I thought Jupiter is supposed to bring me abundance. Why is it like making me suffer or like causing me pain in some way, shape, or form? But it is through that Jupiter is trying to teach you something and help you to grow and expand. So in the next few months until next year, 2026, March 10, Jupiter will retrograde back into 15 degrees 5 minutes in the sign of Cancer and station direct there in March 10 and continue to travel through the sign of Cancer until end of June. So take and see and reflect on what I've just said. This is the time next few months until March 10 for you to go back and see all these things that's been changing and shifting, growing and expanding by Jupiter. Do you want them? Do they feel aligned? Or is it time to pivot? Maybe you try something new and it doesn't work or it doesn't align with you. And it's now to just like scratch it, during the retrograde, start over again, revisit them, readjust them, reevaluate them. Is there something that you want to continue to grow and expand? Or is it time to scratch and start anew? Or maybe you kind of like it, but they do need some kind of tweaking and shifting, changing. The next few months is what's that for? November the 12th, also Moa's solar returns date. Ooh, we have Mercury retrograde conjuncting Mars in Sagittarius at 6 degrees. Great. Ooh, not the best aspect I want on my solar return, but hey, here we go. So we have that aspect earlier in October 20th when Mars and Mercury were in Scorpio. That's a very different energy, okay? Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, so different from Mars and Mercury in Sagittarius, because Scorpio is more of a inward energy. So, okay, let's talk about what this aspect can mean. It can be literally verbal attack, right? It can be fighting, conflict, right? Mars and Mercury is like fighting words, right? And unfortunately, Mars being the god of wars, it can be escalating in violence, right? And for some, this can be, like I said, verbal attack, argument, disagreement, conflict. This can be a day where you are arguing about maybe because it is happening in a Sagittarius, this can be travel plans going haywire, right? Your travel plan, you're in one of the flight that got canceled, you're trying to rebook, you can't find what you want, and you're arguing with the people that you're traveling or whatnot, right? You're arguing with the airline. That's a typical Mars-Mercury conjunction, right? This is definitely happening this week and maybe even being more pronounced on the 12th. This might be both of you not seeing eye to eye on a subject or matter. This can be worldview, right? What is happening on a collective level. This can be some kind of belief system, religion, philosophy, some kind of belief and topics, because that is what Sagittarius is about as well, right? Some might be very preachy and dogmatic, trying to impose their idea, their beliefs onto you, or vice versa, and that can cause tension. That can be a very typical Mars-Mercury conjunction in Sagittarius. So I would say, if I were, for me, I'm just trying to not talk to anyone, right? On that day. But it's my birthday, so I just hope I don't end up arguing with people, because I definitely might. But let's see, right? So that's what is happening. But let's see what happens. It can also be a very beneficial way if you can use this energy in a different way. If you can use this energy for a positive cause, right? Educating, spreading awareness to help people connect the dots in a way that is a little less combative, that is more compassionate and understanding, that allow more people to be aware of what is happening on a collective level and how we can join force to be the change that we want to see in the world. Lastly, one more thing, on 16, we have the Sun in Scorpio trine Jupiter retrograding in Cancer at 25 degrees. So this is a supportive aspect, and this is a water trine, so this can definitely be a day where we are in our feels, we're more emotional, and that's a healthy thing. I just want you all to know that if you feel like the floodgates open, you want to cry, you're in your feels, please do. Don't suppress it. It's unhealthy to suppress your tears. I always tell people, my clients, crying is beautiful and healing. Crying is like a shower for your soul. So let it out, right? This can also be a day of doing some kind of healing work, right? Cancer is about, nurturing, caring for one another. Scorpio is a deeply spiritual sign that talks about the underworld. This can be a day where you can do some kind of healing work, schedule a session with your therapist, your healer, your astrologers. This cannot be a day where you do some kind of energy work, anything water related too, because there's 2 water signs, right? So maybe this is going for a swim, taking a salt bath, going in one of those floating sensory deprivation tank to just feel it, cold plunge, right? Yeah, anything water related can be beautiful today. So see what that might mean for you. Just go easy on yourself that day. It can be a day that just going inward. Scorpio and Cancer can be the sign that invites you to go inward and just have a quiet day, journaling, and just let yourself be in the solitude with your own company, right? So this is what is happening this week. Not a whole lot of astrological energy happening, but we do have that pretty chaotic Mercury retrograde in the backdrop. So beware of that. And in the meanwhile, I am sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for creating this community, this space with me. And I hope that this channel can continue to grow. I would love to do more when I have a little less life obligation. And if you want a more personal reading for you, please contact with me. My email is in the description box. My Instagram as well. Go over there, follow me there. You can also contact me over there. I do all kinds of astrology consultation, tarot and akashic records reading, and my solar return is coming up, meaning that I will also have a big solar return sale. This is always the biggest sale in the year, so I will be posting that in the community post. Watch out, I am going to post it this week sometime, so keep an eye on that, so don't miss out on that big discount. This is a way for me to give back and say thank you to all of you for being here, and sending you all so much love, and I'll see you next time. Bye.